I apologize about the wait. Really sorry. I scheduled this and then I was like, I need some tea. And some emergency. Hello, Mrs. Portland. Hello, Alyssa, Wednesday. Kelly. Hello, Amy. I love you. Love you, Iris. I hope you're doing good. We're going to do some stress relief tea this morning. So, as you know, yesterday was the anniversary, the 4-year anniversary of the Chris Watts case. And for some reason, it must have popped other stuff into my algorithm because I wasn't paying attention. Hey, Peach, I wasn't paying attention to this Kiely Rodni case, which she'd been missing since the 6th of August. And she was caught on surveillance the last time. She's a 16-year-old. If you guys haven't heard about this yet, she's a 16-year-old in Northern California who was at a campground party with over 300 people there. Okay. Then all of a sudden, after like midnight, her and her car go completely missing. And nobody's speaking up. Nobody knows a thing. There's some pretty eerie. She was wearing a hoodie that's pretty eerie that I wanted to talk about. But I also wanted to talk about the whole underage thing and adults showing up and nobody talking. Oh, Amy says, I don't think this party was as big as they say. I don't know, Amy. You should come up and talk about it, but gather around. I'm going to mix my tea and we will talk about it. No chance. No dance. No chance. No dance. No chance. Give me second chances. That's so cool! I won! Yay! Ow! Ow! Hey, Mama Knows Best. It's good to see you too. We are doubling up on the stress relief tea this morning. Okay. We're also going to turn my ringer off. Who was that? Who was that? Oh, God. Oh, thank you. Free to be me. In the morning when I wake up and I'm not ready for the day, I throw on these fake glasses. Yes, Amy, the fake, the borrowed sweater. So, okay. So first off, let's pull this up right. Oh, I didn't pull up the missing person. Okay. So anyways, it's in Northern California. It's in Tahoe National Forest. Actually, I do want to pull this up. So hang on one second. I forgot to put one thing up here. But she was last seen on surveillance. This was before she went to the party on August 5th, 2022. And something that they were saying to focus on and to pay attention to, I guess, which could make her stand out if people have seen her at all, is this necklace. And I'll zoom in on it here. And I want to pull up because there's an actual number. That's what I want to put on the screen for you guys. There's an actual number. If anybody has information, which I think they said, Amy, I'm going to drop a link for you. I think they said, if you want to call in, that there was like over, this could be a wrong number, but I think I was reading over like 800 or 900 people who gave tips to the police, but nobody, okay, and take a look at this. Nobody has seen her car. Nobody saw her leave the party. And her phone pinged over in this area. So this is her 2013 silver Honda CRV, just completely vanished. Now, I guess her best friend, from the reports that I'm seeing and stuff, was saying that she was intoxicated the last time she saw her. Her boyfriend she spoke to said to be careful. Hey, Pesky. So clearly she was intoxicated, but have you guys ever been intoxicated at a party before and had your friends around? I mean, I don't know her friendship or her relationship with her friends, but if something were to happen, like your car going off the road, anything like that, it's going to be pretty obvious to 300 other people that are in that area, possibly leaving the party, or that's like 600 sets of eyeballs. Okay. There's a lot of eyeballs and ears out there to see or hear something. And the fact that nobody's saying anything, and I'll get to my point when I'm saying what I'm going to say in a minute. But the fact that nobody's saying anything is a huge red flag. First of all, take a look at this. And hang on, Amy, one sec. Look at this area. So she was her phone pinged last around Prosser Family Campground over here. Okay. And I'll zoom out a little bit. I took these pictures off of Google Maps. Surrounded by a pretty big body of water, right? So they've had divers that have been going into the water, looking around, but obviously in a big reservoir like that, the water is not going to be clear at all. So basically they said it's like swimming around in mud. Basically, when you're down there, you're searching with your hands. You're not searching with your eyes. It's cloudy. You can't see anything. Obviously, you're going to fill a car if it's down there, and a person. Hang on one sec. I want to read what Amy said. She said the police explained the necklace and said it was because Kiely had been wearing them for a month and hasn't taken them off. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry. Maybe reset. It is strange, but and again, this is just my personal opinion. It's pretty cut and dry. If you're at a party and there's adults, no, Mary, they haven't found her yet. They did find, however, a grave in the area where it was actually a dog that was buried. They thought maybe possibly it could have been her, but it was a dog. But the fact that there's people admitted, people that have been giving tips had said that there were drugs at this party and that adults had also shown up at this party. Now, this is supposed to be some sort of end of summer party. So even if you're an underage kid, but again, she's 16 years old. Even if you're a child, a teenager, one of her friends, or an adult, and that, and the police are saying, look, we are not interested in doing anything but finding Kiely. We're not interested in anything else. We just want to find out what happened. So as far as people being scared to come forward, as far as drug use or being scared that their parents are going to find out that, they were drinking or whatever, that's beside the point. But if you're an adult, hey, Joan, if you're an adult and you're caught, I don't think she was on drugs either. I mean, I don't really know what her lifestyle was, Amy, but I'm saying if drugs were at the party, even alcohol, if you're an adult and you get caught, somebody's bootlegging and you're buying alcohol or you're providing that kind of stuff, you're going to get in trouble anyways. But then if there's like foul play or if something happens, then yeah, you're fucked. But there's no way in hell that a 16-year-old girl, leaves a party of 300 people drunk in her car and is not found anywhere in the area. And her car is missing. And I'll get into the shirt in a minute. But Roxy says heat sensors can be used or scanners to see cars underwater. That's awesome. I would hate to be under there trying to search for this crap. I'm going to drop a link for Amy in case she wanted to call in. But because I want to get into the t-shirt. But give me a second because I'm going to have to mute. Well, I thought I uploaded this picture with the phone number on it. It also has a thing you can scan on it in case you have any tips that you can give the police. So give me just a second to pull that up. Okay. Good morning, Sky Maiden. How can a whole car go missing and not be found? That's what gets me. Exactly. And it's a 2013, right? It's a 2013. Oh my God. You know what? I think my niece has the same exact car, but in black. Same year and everything. I'm pretty sure. She does. She just bought it. She lives a couple buildings over. I'm going to have to ask her. Obviously, it doesn't have GPS, but I mean, mine's a 2011. I have a Chrysler and it has GPS in the system. Oh, thanks, Claire. I just woke up a little while ago. She just vanished in thin air. Somebody knows something. Exactly. Especially if there's, I mean, anything could have happened. I don't look, if she was drunk driving, hang on, because this is going to echo for a minute. You know what? I'm just going to email the picture to myself and do it that way. If she was drunk driving, again, she would have been found. Her car would have been found in the area somewhere. If she would have flown into a body of water around the area, I mean, obviously, somebody would have heard something or something. I know it's kind of, I mean, if you look again, the area, it is, you know, obviously it's Northern California. You know, there's not a lot around the area, it looks like. But come on, you have over 300 people at a party, and look, I've been drunk at parties before. I mean, remember the last time you were drunk? Do you remember? You might not. Okay. So I'm not saying people are going to know exactly what happened to her. Hey, Ariel. But something, you have that many people and nobody even says, oh yeah, no, I saw her leave in her car or anything. Nothing. Because I haven't seen any reports of that. Have you guys? Cece says, my husband's 16-year-old cousin died by a drunk driver and they found out he was at a party, and the owner of that house was charged for charging alcohol or for giving alcohol to minors. Someone knows what happened to her. Exactly. And so somebody was saying something, because I was listening to, I think it was Justice for All, and either his channel or Molly's channel. And that's what kind of got me sucked in. I was like, wait, what? Somebody had mentioned the drug use, and I don't know what kind of drugs it was. I don't know if you guys know that yet, but obviously there's a big problem with fentanyl going around. Anything bad can happen. Even with alcohol poisoning, anything bad can happen. So if that happens in the presence of an adult that's providing that for you, or even your friends, and something happens to you, yeah, I believe, in my opinion, there's going to be some sort of cover up, because they don't want to get in trouble. And unfortunately, with that many people at a party, it's kind of easy to cover up, don't you think? Jen Stevens says, the trio of friends stories are adding to the confusion. Sammy, Mags, and Jagger need a hard reset. Hey, Siren. Whew, this is hot. Hot tamale. Thank you for unblocking Jerry, Mrs. Portland. Thank you for that. Courtney says her boyfriend says he's confident she's safe and healthy. What the fuck? How would he know? That is very strange. Okay, so let's get into the other strange part of this. If you guys haven't been following this, and when I saw this, it kind of just sent, because again, I'm into spirituality and paranormal and stuff like that, and signs from above. Now, again, this is a hoodie. So, and the strange thing about this hoodie, I know it's not very clear, you guys, and I'm sorry for that, but the strange thing about this is this was this was borrowed to Kiely. I'm guessing at the party. Hey, Nikki Rev. I'm guessing at the party this was borrowed to her. Now, I didn't see anything reported who lent the sweater to her. Does anybody know? Maybe she passed out somewhere, Roxy says. It just seems, and you know, if she did pass out, there are animals in the area, probably, I would imagine, that are very dangerous to humans. But then that doesn't explain her car being missing. I'm so sorry to hear that your brother died of a fentanyl overdose, Mel. His friends tried to cover it up, like they weren't with him and left him for dead. I'm so sorry for that. Crazy mama. Yeah, Nicole's great. Okay, it hasn't been said who loaned her the hoodie. And I had a little slideshow I put together before I came on here, but it wasn't uploading, and it was more clear. So this was the hoodie that was lent to her. Yes, Nikki Rev in Northern California. Her name is Kiely Rodni. She's 16 years old, and she was at a party with over 300 people, and her car and her are just completely gone. So let's take, this is a Lana Del Rey hoodie. I guess. Is this some, I don't know. I don't really listen to Lana Del Rey, so maybe this is a verse from one of her songs, but it says, "You don't want to be forgotten, you just want to disappear." Which, I mean, this, a lot of people can be like, "Oh, well, that's just a coincidence." I don't know. I really don't know what to think about that. What do you guys think about that? Okay, it is song lyrics. While I'm uploading this other photo, I will wait to see what you guys think about that. But in my personal opinion, I mean, it could be a lot of things. I think it would be a little bit far-fetched to say that somebody who was involved or something, or if this was planned, which I wouldn't imagine this. I mean, I guess there's not enough evidence to show that it is or it wasn't planned. Maybe gave her the shirt as a sign. I don't know. So hold on, give me a minute, because I'm sending this picture to myself so I can upload this for you guys to have. The boyfriend is definitely throwing out Chris Watts porch interview vibes. But I didn't see, the boyfriend wasn't at the party with her, was he? I thought that they just spoke on the phone and he said, "Okay, be safe, have a good night." See, cautiously optimistic says that's absolutely no coincidence. Yeah, whether it be a message from the universe, from God, from your spirit guides, guardian angels, I don't know. Net Detective says, like the Casey Anthony Trouble t-shirt on Kiely. It's her ex-boyfriend and he was in Napa. Okay, so they're not currently dating. YT is Assho says, though a truth is a truth anywhere in the world, the same cannot be said of facts. Facts are more objective in nature. The boyfriend and friends might be chill because they're kids. Well, I don't mean to reference this because we don't know what happened to her, but if you guys have seen the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, the storyline of that basically is, these teenagers were out partying, they were drinking, I think they were smoking marijuana in the movie, I can't really remember. The book is really good too, and then they hit someone with their car and they think they kill him, and instead of calling the police, they are terrified of getting in trouble, so they hide the body and like the evidence and they dump him in water. And then if you've seen the movie, you know what happens from there. They get stalked by somebody who knows what they did last summer. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying this is I Know What You Did Last Summer scenario, but I'm just saying if something like that happened, obviously teenagers, adults, whoever it is, would, if anything happened, they would cover it up. I like it too, Lola. I heard they just made it a TV show and it sucked. Hey, Amber's Alerts. All right, so hold on. Let me pull up this picture. 1 second, because I'm in another screen. So give me just a second. But those kids freaked out. I'm feeling her friends really ain't good friends. I get movie Jawbreaker vibes. That's a really, really good movie with Rose McGowan. I forget who else is in that. That was a good movie. Found the first photo you got up straight away on Google, so anyone could have given her it. Anyone could have given her the hoodie, Peach. Look up Skylar Niece case. You want me to look it up right now, Amy? Or Kimberly Rose says, I get very different vibes in this case. She may have OD'd and it's been covered up too. She may be in the water somewhere, possibly a hoax. I honestly hope it's a hoax and she's safe. Okay, so wow, that gives me kind of a whole new outlook on this. And again, these are just opinions, you guys, and all opinions are welcome. These are not facts. Yeah, Brantley, they made I Know What You Did Last Summer a TV show. It's like a different storyline and everything. So yeah, it is similar to I Know What You Did Last Summer. Okay, you want me to look it up now? Okay, hang on, Amy. Skylar Niece. I'm going to put this up on the screen while I'm waiting for, while I'm pulling that up. So if, now I don't know why, are you talking about like a Gone Girl hoax or something? Is that what you're talking about? Because I believe in like divine intervention, and yeah, Amber's alerts. This girl, she was at a party, over 300 people, completely gone missing. Her car is completely missing and everything. And it's like in a huge like campground area in the middle of what looks to be nowhere. So if you're Pretty Little Liar vibes, I never finished that show, so I'll get to the hoax thing in a minute. But Tammy Lou says, I personally feel like an experienced predator got her and she'll not ever be recovered. Her truth won't be told, known. Sad, but this is what I feel and pray I'm wrong. Tammy, I often test my intuition like all the time on my channel. And that's kind of what I got too. You know, a lot of times because unfortunately you have things like Chris Watts, all these people that harm people that they care about, supposedly, or that they love, and it ends up being someone they're close to or whatever. So unfortunately, like we always go to that, like, oh, if somebody out to get her, somebody, something like that. But that could very well be possible, that there was some sort of, and I don't want to be a pessimist, right? Because we're going to be optimistic about it. But if there's some sort of like predator, serial killer, whatever in the area that knows, there's going to be a lot of teenagers in this area. They're going to be intoxicated or under the influence of something. They're young. And I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, it looks like. Big surrounding area of a big body of water, lots of woodsy area. So, I mean, that's very well possible that it's somebody just completely random that knows. I mean, this seemed to be like a yearly thing, right? An end of summer party that everyone goes to and they refer to as the campground, I believe is what they call it. They say they're going to the campground, and that's where like teenagers party, stuff like that. But the fact that adults showed up as well, I mean, I do remember in high school and being young, and there were those adults that were either the owner of the house or, stuff like that. But there was never, I mean, I can say, as far as I know, I don't think in high school there was really drugs, like hardcore drugs. I mean, pot, I remember being a thing. I mean, hell, the first time I smoked pot was out of a 3-foot bong in a hotel party. Holy shit, I ripped a big one and I was coughing for like 5 minutes straight. There were no adults at that party, though. Dana Park says, it's so odd to me they haven't found her vehicle yet. All right, let me go back up so I can go to the search engine of what Skylar Neese. Okay. Give me a second. So this is similar to that case, Amy? Let's see. Skylar Neese. Or is it in the same area, possibly? The murder of Skylar Neese. This is on Wikipedia. So this happened, looks like July 6th of 2012. Skylar was a girl. Okay, sorry. I thought the name, sorry. Because I knew a guy named Skylar. So I'm in a different page. So give me just a second because I can't see anything in the chat. So Skylar was an American teenage girl who disappeared from her home in Star City, West Virginia, around midnight. Her body was found on January 16th in Wayne Township, Greene County, Pennsylvania. She was murdered by two of her high school best friends, Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf. On January 3rd, Schoaf confessed to authorities that she and Eddy planned and carried out Neese's murder. Schoaf pled guilty to second-degree murder on May 1st of 2013 and sentenced to 30 years in prison with eligibility for parole after 10 years. And Eddy pleaded guilty to first-degree murder on January 24th, 2013 and was sentenced to life in prison with eligibility for parole. So Neese's disappearance led to the new West Virginia legislation that made changes to the Amber Alert's missing alert system. What the hell was their motive? I mean, I'm not giving them a reason or excuse, but what the hell was their motive to kill her? Just to do it? You always had desert parties. There's a book about Skylar Neese. It's really good. Courtney Messick says, I'm 3.5 hours from Tahoe. Plenty of areas to dump the car in the lake where no one would see. Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry, Peach. I'll go up. Although they deny it, Skylar's friends. Oh, wait a minute. Although they deny it, Skylar's friends confirmed. Okay. Rachel and Sheila killed Skylar because she found out Rachel and Sheila were more than friends. What? So hold on a minute. You're saying that, let me take this off the screen for a minute since we're talking about something else. You're saying that the Skylar, who was their friend, figured out that Rachel and Sheila were like lovers and they were embarrassed by it or something, and that's why they killed her? Tristan Bailey happened an hour from me, Justin says. I haven't heard that name. When you have friends like hers, who needs enemies? Yeah, right? Sola says, I did think about Tristan Bailey when I saw this case. Some kids can do terrible things like Aiden Fucci did to Tristan. They didn't like Skylar and killed her. The friends sucked up to the parents just like Kiely's friends. Kimberly says, her friends that murdered Skylar were the ones speaking out on social media and hanging out with her family after, wow. Their motive was jealousy. So, I mean, obviously it's too soon to see what happened in this scenario. But there's so many different things, especially that's what's crazy in areas like this. And that's why I always feel when I get, because this one, it takes a lot, or I have to feel connected to something to talk about it when it comes to like missing people or true crime or something, because otherwise I don't feel connected or interested. But in this scenario, I felt connected because of the fact that I have been intoxicated and I have been in my younger years around adults and around people. And I was always terrified of something happening. I think I told this story a little while ago on my channel. There was one time where I was drunk and I was with my manager at the time and her roommates and friends. And we were in her basement, and one of her roommates, this guy, he was like, hey, wrestle me real fast. And I was like, okay, I'll wrestle you, whatever. And of course, he whooped me, and he put me in a chokehold, and that's the last thing I remember. I wake up what feels like 8 hours later. I thought I had been passed out drunk, and I woke up and needed to go home, but it was still dark. And I'm like, and I hear people upstairs. I heard them. I was like, what the hell? And I was downstairs in the basement all by myself. I walk up to the top of the stairs, and they're like, all in the kitchen freaking out. They're like, oh my God. And I was like, what the hell? What's going on? They were like, oh my God, we thought you were dead and blah, blah, blah. I had only been passed out for like a couple of minutes, but they thought that I was dead, and they were not on a phone with the police. They were trying to figure out how to hide my body, and they loved me. I mean, they were nice. So shit. Amy says Kylie's ex-boyfriend made a post saying to have all tips sent to him as the police asked him to filter them out. Police said all tips go to the police. The kids are hiding something. Somebody is. Because if you leave a party and something happens, yeah, it's one thing to run your car off the road and possibly fly into a tree or land in water or whatever. But, I mean, the police are probably going to see skid marks. Something. What was LFT says, hey y'all. Oh, I hope you're having a good Sunday too. Good stream last night from what I was listening to. Yeah, isn't that messed up, Dana? Oh, okay, Miss Portland, it's okay. I love you. What are my thoughts on Kiely? I could tell you my intuition. My intuition is exactly what was said earlier. I feel like this was again, this is just my personal opinion, and testing my intuition out. I think it was somebody that knew there was going to be people in that area. Could be some sort of predator, somebody that was watching from the outside. That's what I think. Because if nobody saw her leave or whatever, I mean, I don't know what the campground, I haven't really seen the details of like the pictures and how it's set up, but she could have went to the restroom. I don't know if there's porta potties out there. Or she went up into the trees or whatever. You never know. And there's, I mean, people think, you know, oh, this girl was targeted or whatever, but somebody could have just seen that it's simply a girl in the woods waiting for one of them to walk out alone. And then she was the one possibly that did walk out alone. And unfortunately could have been the one that got abducted. That's what my intuition says. Let's go ahead and pull a card just to verify that, okay? Or pull a card with it. But that's what I think. Or, like we said, it could be like an I know what you did last summer type thing where something was an accident and people want to cover it up because they don't want to get in trouble. And it is 11:11 right now. That is very strange because every time I do some sort of intuition or something or been talking about spirituality lately, that's been popping up and it's 11:11 a.m. right now. So hold on. Ooh, I got the card Affirmations. To lift up your thoughts and energy to attract what you desire, use positive affirmations. So maybe we should think positive about this situation. If that's true, what happened to her car then? That's a good point, Cece. I mean, I'm guessing with 300 people at a party that there's going to be a big parking lot full of cars, which even in the city, hey, Roxanne, welcome. Even in the city, okay? I live in Denver, Colorado. So downtown Denver, even when I go into parking garages down there, I mean, you get scared like, holy shit, I'm going to get killed in here because people park and they go to where they need to go. So even in the city where it's super busy, you go into a parking garage and it's like nobody is around, right? Unless they're walking back to their car or parking and getting the hell out of there. So I could imagine in the middle of nowhere where this is, right? We can only imagine where they're parking in this area. Okay? Because it's pretty wide open space. So imagine 300 people pulling up in whether it was cars, carpooling, whatever it is. It's going to be a pretty wide area where these cars are parked, don't you think? So to me, even if she was going to her car, which they did say she was intoxicated, and that's what they said. Even if she was if she was going out there, that's pretty easy for no one to see because all the cars, you imagine people out there probably have trucks. A lot of my friends who are country bumpkins live in the country or the mountains, have that 4-wheel drive. You're going to have a lot of big trucks in that parking lot, I'm sure, to even cover up and make more privacy. Amy says, I think they will find the car today or tomorrow. They are sending divers in today. Yeah, and hopefully they do because those divers are just seeing clouds underwater. Tammy Lou says, I truly think if any kids or even young adults had something to do with it, someone would have spoke and or something would have been found out by now. Yes, and that's why it's going to be really interesting in the next week or so to see possible interviews and see people speaking, you know, and be able to read and see their eyes while they're talking and just kind of, you know, get a feel and get a vibe from people. Amy says there was supposedly 300 people there, and that's a lot of cars. Kiely could have parked in a different location as nowhere close to park. And we also, I mean, I know this is kind of a far stretch. You also have to put into consideration a lot of these teenagers or even adults that are showing up to this campground to party. A lot of them who have been there in the past, imagine if there's been DUIs in that area, which I'm sure there has been. So me thinking in my teenage mind or not wanting to get in trouble, I'd be like, okay, dude, let's park somewhere where like the cops aren't going to see us when we leave. Cause she was going to go home. She lived 10 miles away from the campground. So she was going to go home that night, I believe, from what I was hearing and listening to and reading. So a lot of these people probably parked out of the way so they didn't get in trouble by the police when they left. Wednesday says, got drunk, a little high, missed her boyfriend, decided to drive to see him, crashed into water. Oh. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go in a minute, but I'm going to put this up lastly. So this is her official like missing person flyer. Hashtag find Kiely, findkiely.com. Kiely Rodni, last seen August 6, 2022 at 12:30 to 1 a.m. in Truckee, California, age 16, height 5'7", blonde hair, hazel eyes, 118 pounds, driving a silver 2013 Honda CRV, California license plate 8YUR127, and there's a $50,000 reward for any information that leads to her being found. Call anonymous tip line, which is 530-581-6320, option 7. There was something else important I wanted to say, but I completely forgot. Amy says, I just don't think there were 300 people there. That party would have been all over the internet. Teenagers are teenagers and take pics of everything. Somebody would have came forward out of 300 people. Yeah, that is true. Yes. Oh, happy birthday to your son. Justin says, can I share my Cash App and PayPal? It's my son's birthday and I'm broke as fuck. Rent went up to $1,100. Yes, you absolutely can. And happy birthday. Hey, Lana, I love you. Hey. Freedom Me says, I saw a video the other day that said Kiely lived in the back country at a lodge hotel ran by her mom. Anyone know if this is true? If so, it opens up a lot of possibilities of abduction. Huh. I didn't read that anywhere so far. I don't know. That's why it said it's going to be interesting to see. And Tammy is saying, yes, it's confirmed, kind of like a backwoods resort. Ooh, I'm going to have to look that up. Hold on a minute. Let me go to this other screen. Kiely. Type in hotel. And oh yeah, and if anybody was interested, the last ping that she had on her phone was around this area. I believe it was this area, and it was around 12:30. I think it's 12:33 a.m. and her phone was turned off. I mean, I don't know. The battery could have died. Somebody could have turned it off. I don't really know. Let's see. Maybe the police are suppressing pics and video until they review. You're making me, Peach, look it up. She's still missing. It happened. Let's see, the 6th. So that was today's the 14th. Math. Okay, Mrs. Portland. Awesome. I'll go in there as soon as you go live. Your Cash App isn't coming up. Send it again, Justin. I'm going to have to look into this. I haven't heard of this case. Yeah, just look up. Here's her name, Kiely Rodni. It's really suspicious. Galsey says, hey, Robbie, got on too late. I hope they find her soon. So sad. Me too. And I'm an optimist, but again, my intuition isn't feeling very good about it as far as a positive outcome. That's sketchy if the parents are saying not to talk. Yeah, and I'm not seeing over on this other, I'm not seeing anything about her mom having a resort. So here's the Cash App for Justin. Link should work. Cash App, or you could just do Justin Lee Reacts on Cash App. Amy says, Kiely went to her car to charge her phone so it didn't die. It was shut off. Okay, right there, again, that makes a lot of sense. So imagine, okay, again, this is not facts. This is just speculation and my opinion, but I mean, look at all that area over there for parking for 300 cars, which Amy believes there wasn't that many. But if there were, or just even a lot of people, even if you're parked out there by yourself, at a campground, I would imagine you're parking in one area and then you're walking up to where the party's at, right? So you would probably have to walk through a lot of wilderness to do that, or just, a lot of dark areas, because I wouldn't imagine there's a lot of streetlights out there in the woods. So imagine her going to her car to charge her phone. It's dead. And that's a perfect explanation of why her car could be missing too, and how people even knew what her car was to take it. Because a lot of people can think, oh, well, her friends did this and they hid her car and they knew what her car was. But if there's like an onlooker, a predator from the outside, good morning, here she goes, and they're watching her walk by herself in the dark to her car, phone off. I mean, obviously, they probably didn't know her phone was off, but they could have, because if your phone's dead and you're walking in the dark, normally you're going to lift your phone up and you're going to lead the way with the light from the phone or the flashlight. So if you see somebody walking without that light, I mean, that's an even easier target. Hey, Jessica. Welcome, Jessica. Oh, Cece says, read my comment. Oh, Cece says she was with Sammy when she was charging her phone. Oh, okay. Okay. And Sammy is her best friend, right? Who said that she was intoxicated and that she was going to leave, but she couldn't because she was too intoxicated. April says, it was somebody that knew her. I can almost promise that because I feel it in my bones. Yeah, Justin, it's pretty, I mean, to me, it seems pretty cut and dry. That clearly somebody, I think it's safe, in my opinion, to say that somebody knows or did something to her. I think at this point it's safe to say that, but it's just as far as what the hell that was. I do not think, in my opinion, I do not think that she disappeared. I do not, like, by herself. I do not think that by wearing this sweater, you guys, if you're just tuning in, I showed what somebody lent her the sweater. I believe it was at the campground. They lent this to her, and it's a Lana Del Rey lyric. And they believe that she still has the sweater on her wherever she is. And the lyric on the front of the sweater says, "You don't want to be forgotten. You just want to disappear." So a lot of people can think negative things about that and be like, oh, I wonder, where she was mentally, or is this a sign? No, if she was lent the sweater, it's not even hers. So could be a coincidence, but I believe in divine intervention. And then somebody was mentioning maybe a conspiracy that they, threw that in there just to make it more interesting. But I mean, I think it's too soon to say that. Just an artist merch hoodie. Okay. I read or heard that she and Sammy were not friends on Facebook. Ooh, that definitely makes it more interesting, because even as an adult, if you're not my friend on Facebook, something's up and you're talking shit behind my back. Can you imagine how teenagers are with that shit? If you remove somebody from Facebook, but you're still nice to their face, maybe you have a motive. Maybe you have something to hide. Courtney says, have y'all watched the boyfriend best friend interview? It's very odd. They act like nothing's wrong. I have not yet, Courtney. I'm going to do that as soon as I get off of here, which I don't play clips on my channel just because copyright and all that shit, but I will look into that. Sammy claimed to be her bestie, but yet no pics of them together, and they didn't follow each other on social media. Very interesting. Exactly, Punkette. A best friend that doesn't follow her on social media yet follows Kylie's ex-boyfriend? Now we're getting into, I'm not gonna say skank territory. Also, why is Sammy and the Jaeger the ex controlling the tip line and not the police? Sounds like they're trying to control the narrative to me. Why would you aren't they underage? Why would you let an underage person control a tip line? What? I did not see the boyfriend interview yet. Why would you do that? Oh, let's put a bunch of people that were there that could possibly be accomplices or whatever. Let's just let them be in charge of the tip line. Is that what you're telling me? Didn't she also date that guy? Uh-oh, Mama knows best, says Sammy. We got our eyes on you. This case has so many... Yeah, well, Frida Me, it has so many different scenarios that can play out. And it's the perfect setting for it. It's the perfect setting. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's Northern California. Again, there's scenarios where somebody maybe didn't like her, knew she's going to be in the middle of nowhere. It could be a scenario where a predator is like, shit, I know kids go and party over here. I'll just go over there and go fishing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different things, but bottom line is it's a perfect scenario. It's a perfect setting for some shady shit to go down. That's for damn sure. Especially if it was planned or something that you know, and even if you've been to parties with her before, because they said she was intoxicated. So if they know that she gets intoxicated, or maybe they've seen her like that before, if this was something planned, then they already knew she's going to be in the middle of nowhere and she's going to be intoxicated. Now, again, that's just my mind running. Justin Lee Reacts says, I don't even let my kids ride their bike in the neighborhood alone. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, especially in the city. But then in the wilderness, okay, Beck Del Real, love you. In the wilderness, not only do you have the possibility of like Michael Myers and Jason and Ghostface coming up and slashing some shit up, but you also have the possibility of wild animals. But in this scenario, I think we can rule out wild animals because I don't see a mountain lion doing something to her and then taking her car and stealing it. Maybe aliens, but not a mountain lion. Okay. The ex-boyfriend deleted the post he made about tips going to him after the police said no tips go to the police. Oh, and Panthera says Sammy's parents are connected in law enforcement. Breezy says, in the press conference yesterday or the day before, they said adults were saying not to talk in fear of their kids getting in trouble for drinking and drugs. Yeah, and then law enforcement stated, they're like, look, all we want is information. We're not interested in who was drinking or what was going on. We are interested in finding out where she is and what happened. That is their main focus. Claudia, I think, in my personal opinion, and from having this conversation even with you guys and from what I was hearing and reading and seeing before I got on here to talk about it, I definitely think that there was, because they're saying, oh, well, there was no evidence of foul play. Well, first of all, you're in the middle of nowhere. And if she had a car and was getting into her car, it's very easy just to push her into the car and take off. There's not really going to be evidence of foul play. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, this is my opinion, my intuition. I think that this is or was or is a perfect setting for some sort of abduction, kidnapping situation. That's what I think. Because it's in the middle of nowhere. So I think the car is gone with abduction. But then you have to think, if that's the case, then there has to be more than one person involved, right? Because unless the person lives in the area, because you have to drive down to that area if you're going to abduct somebody, and you have to be in your car. Okay. So how are you going to drive her car and then your car? Unless you live in the area. Then you could just be hiking, walking, going out, being a predator or whatever it is, and then just take her car. So I would say, I would hope that they're searching all of the garages in the area, all of the homes, everything, everywhere. That's what I would hope that they would do. But then if it's not, it could be multiple people. People do a lot of crazy things when they're on drugs. Look at the Matthew Shepard murder. Oh, okay, boo-boo, kitty meow. Look at the Matthew Shepard situation. If you've read the book that his mother wrote, she makes him out not to be a saint, that he was into partying. He was into coming down to Denver and going to bathhouses and, you know, hooking up with people and drinking and stuff like that. And I don't remember, I think the two guys that killed Matthew Shepard, tortured him, I think they were on drugs, weren't they? And those were two people. So, I mean, people do some sick shit. Look at the Manson clan. I'm asking more questions than the cops. Justin, when I get into a situation like this and I feel it's Gale Weathers mode time. We're going full bitch mode Gale Weathers on these bitches. Ask some questions and somebody speak for yourself. Feel me? Okay. Fear may have been the reason. That was such a sad movie. Oh, Justin says, many murders happen by deranged people on meth and coke. And I can say, from my experience in the past with methamphetamines, my mind went to some crazy places. Crazy places. It was mainly a sex drug for me. But still, I mean, my mind went to crazy places. I would want to seclude myself and hermit myself from the world and just be in my own head. And I mean, we're all going Gale Weathers. Anitra says, I thought so too, first that it was a stranger, but after looking into the case a bit more, I think her friends are suspicious. Wow, you guys are really starting putting it in my head to really start focusing on her friends and her boyfriend. But again, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be closed-minded, especially when somebody is still missing and stuff like that. So Allison says, please look up what is that? NAICS? Sammy's Family Business? Oh, look up Sammy's Family Business. Someone must have seen something or heard something. But then again, think about it. If you're in the middle of nowhere, I would imagine for a party with 300 people, I would imagine that there's going to be some pretty loud music. Because number one, you're in the middle of nowhere, so you don't really have a noise unless there's people camping around and a park ranger comes around. You don't really have a rule for noise, right? And it's going to be pretty loud anyways, with everybody talking and partying and all that kind of stuff. So add music and Bluetooth speakers on top of that. Nowadays, people have their little earpieces in all the time, whether they're talking on the phone with their friends, they're doing TikTok, their ears are covered, or they're listening to loud music. So it's not very hard in a parking lot with that many cars in the middle of nowhere to abduct somebody and nobody hear it and nobody fucking see it. Not that hard. Hey, Siren, welcome back. Hey, Carla, I love you. Love you, Carla. Cyrus says, I think it's obvious by now that she's not in the area anymore. I think that would be a pretty logical thing to say, for sure. Why did the community do this concert instead of surging? Did I miss something? What concert's going on, Claudia? I missed that part. She could have left without being seen. Exactly. But in my personal opinion, a young 16-year-old girl intoxicated at a party, leaving, I don't see her leaving by herself. And then just completely being vanished and her car completely vanished. Oh, a country concert. So they're doing a country concert after she's gone missing? Her friends threw a concert in her name. Oh, okay. Yeah, because she was a musician too, right? I saw some videos where she was like playing the guitar and singing, stuff like that. They had a concert last night for her. Oh, okay. Peach thinks that she was offered a ride. Peach, that is, again, a really good observation where multiple people would be involved. Like, it could have been a scenario where there was multiple people where one was like, hey, we'll drive your car for you and we'll be behind you and follow in our car and get you home safe. And then unfortunately not do that. That could be a scenario. Solo says, what was the social media app called that Kiely used? It took a video twice a day for 2 minutes randomly. Does anybody know what that is? The concert was Saturday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay. Justin has been so intoxicated before that he ended up places he didn't remember going, and waking up the next day had to stop drinking. I feel you on that one, brother. Definitely. Ooh, okay, let's see here. Frazavelli Summers says there's 2 water reservoirs and a creek in the area, Prosser Creek Reservoir and Alter Creek, and the Boca Reservoir. Let me see if I put that on this map. Basically just did this one here. I think that's the furthest I zoomed out as far as what I uploaded on here. So anyways, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this. If you guys get any new information, let me know, or have anything else to say, leave it in the comments or email me, saverobbie.1982@gmail.com. Gmail.com. I'm sorry. I needed some honey. I'm a little scotched again. I said I've been sick. Okay. I've not felt good the last 24 hours. Okay. Autumn says if she missed a turn driving home, she would be at Donner's Lake. Cece says in an interview, Sammy let it slip that she was driving, then quickly changed it to being in the passenger seat. You're talking about driving to the party, right? I would imagine. Reminds you of Nathalie Holloway. I don't know that case either. Does Kiely live in the mountains close to the campgrounds? According to what I've read, Panthera, she lives about 10 miles away from the campground, I believe. Somebody can correct me if that's wrong, but that's what I believe. I'm heading to take my son to get a gift. Thank you, Robbie, so much for allowing me to share my Cash App, and thank you all that donated. You're welcome, Justin, and happy birthday to your son again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Justin's son. Happy birthday to you. Oh, Cece says after the party. Really? Okay, Lisa. Welcome in late. YT is Asho says if she was driving, her phone would have pinged again. Exactly. And if people were saying she was going to her car to charge her phone, that would either mean that the battery was dying or it had already died. Love you too, Justin. So in order to ping, it would have had to been turned on. So here's a thought. Now, again, this is just my intuition, you guys. Listen, this is what I truly feel before I go. This is what my intuition's telling me right now. Again, this is just my thoughts, just my opinions. People are innocent until proven guilty. I don't know. And I'm not saying anyone. But imagine, okay, her phone pinged and then it was turned off around, 12:33 a.m. She called her mom. Okay. So imagine going to her car by herself. Somebody said her friend was with her. But if she was by herself at some point, if it's true that nobody saw her leave, nobody saw anything, not her friend, not anybody, and she was completely alone and nobody saw it, that would mean she was alone at her car, probably charging her car again. Her phone pinged, she texts her mom, and then boom, abduction. Because think about it, you guys. If you go to your car and you're sitting in your car, even during the day at night, even if you're crossing the street, you know how many times my dumbass has been looking down at my phone, crossing a crosswalk when I'm not supposed to, not paying attention. My boyfriend, Michael, he said that one time he was downtown and this is why he tells me, do not put both, when I'm listening to music downtown, he says, don't put both earpieces in your ear, because there was one time he was downtown and these 2 guys were about to hit him over the head with a baseball bat, but he had just in time pulled his earphones out and heard them coming. So even without earphones, if you're not paying attention and you're looking down, I mean, that's the perfect time. and perfect. It's so easy these days for people not to pay attention to their surroundings and horrible things happening. Okay. Amy says Sammy didn't get a ride from Kiely because Kiely was drinking and got another ride, but left Kiely there to drive home. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious, right, Amy? Pretty suspicious. Living like Phoenix, she always only does one earbud. Yeah. I don't know. Let me see something before I go. I want to see, before I go, if you guys can do me a favor. You know, there's a lot of people in here whose channels I love. But Lokamai, she does missing people's reports, and she helps me so much on my channel. She has a password to my channels. She helps me with emails and all sorts of stuff. But she does missing people reports, all this sort of stuff. I'm sure Lokamai is going to look into this and keep up to date on this as well. So I'm going, if you guys can go, she is at 924 subscribers right now. Wouldn't that be awesome, you guys? If we could get her to 1,000, please go show Lokamai's channel some love, because she does so much for me and she does so much for the community and for the missing persons community. She deserves all the hard work she puts into everything. She deserves to go above and beyond those 1,000 subscribers and keep her channel going strong. And she's awesome. So please, there's her link. I just put it in the chat. I will pin it. Oh, you're doing more crafts, Mrs. Portland? I feel like I'm going to pass out because I haven't had enough liquids today, and I'm not eating because my stomach, I'm fasting. I feel like shit. So hold on, let me pin that. So if we could do that, that would be great. Thank you for subscribing to her. I promise you won't be disappointed. Lokamai has a heart of gold. She's a great friend outside of YouTube. She's great to many of us on here, and she does really hard work, you guys, on missing persons 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She is always updating us on new Amber alerts, if somebody was found, if they weren't. And if you're into that and into helping, you'll definitely love Lokamai's channel. So again, there's the link one more time, because she is almost to 1,000 subscribers and she deserves it. Okay. She's up to 931, you guys. Thank you for subscribing to her. You're awesome. Yes, we love Lokamai. I am Amber. I'm about to drink some of this. Already subscribed. See? You're a smart person. I miss Lokamai. I've not been able to talk to anyone last week, of course, because yes, and I hope you're feeling better, Peach, and I love you. Anitra says, I'm a subscriber. There's so many missing cases out there. Yes, and Lokamai, she tries to nail all of them and keep people up to date and up to speed on all of those things. So I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this case. It's interesting to me. Thank you, Anti-Side-Eye. And so I will keep you up to date, and you guys keep me up to date as well. Okay. And Siren has a premiere on his channel, 6:30 Eastern time. Something completely off. If you like something completely different, I can't link it on my phone. Hold on, Siren. Where's your premiere at? Oh, here it is. Hold on. Copy. Okay, Siren's premiere. Set the reminder for that as well, folks. Okay. Bye, Claire. Have a good day, Lisa. Ooh, you're LA bound. Here she goes. I'm jealous. Bye, Amber. Bye, everybody. I hope you have a good day. And again, there's the information one more time. If anybody has any tips on this. Okay. Love you guys. Have a good day. And I will talk to you later. No.